Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm super excited because we have a guest crafter. You know her, my sister Bree. She created these adorable mini holiday backpacks. These are so cute and she made so many different patterns. They're so adorable. I love them. These are not her original idea. These have been around for a while. There's been quite a few people out there that have made them. So Bree was really inspired by the channel Positively Papercraft, and she's here on YouTube. She makes some really cute projects, and she made a tutorial on these backpacks. Bree kind of made a little twist on them, made them her own, did a couple of different things, but these, like I said, this design has been around for a while on Pinterest and different YouTubers. So Bree just did her own little twist on it. We made it in a holiday theme as well. And it's all about, you know, the paper and what you put inside of these and how you kind of go about marketing them for your craft fair. So we're going to do a tutorial here that we hope you enjoy. And so sit back, relax, get your coffee, get your tea, because this is going to be one of my longer videos. And I'm really excited that Bree is going to be doing this tutorial today. We hope you enjoy. So for this project, you're just going to need 2 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock. So you can either use 2 pieces of pattern cardstock, which is, you know, your standard scrapbook paper, or you can use 1 solid for the base and a pattern to mat. It's up to you. In this video, Bree is going to be using 1 piece of solid red 12 by 12, and she's going to be using a 12 by 12 pattern cardstock from one of her scrapbook paper pads. So the first thing you're going to need is for the base of the backpack. So that's why Bree's choosing to use her solid red piece for this. Now this piece is very important. You're going to take your 12 by 12 piece and cut it down to 8 1/4. You need to make that cut first because it'll work out later on better with the scraps and the leftover pieces. So just make the 8 1/4 cut first. Then you're going to turn it and it's going to be cut down to 11 1/2. So just take off that 1/2 inch from the 12 inches. And so the final measurement that you have is going to be 8 1/4 by 11 1/2. So then you're going to take your leftover piece with this solid cardstock that she's using, same piece that you just cut. Use that piece to cut 2 pieces down to 1 inch by 6 inches. So you're going to need 2 pieces, again, that measure 1 inch by 6 inches. So there they are, and these are going to eventually be the little backpack straps. Okay, so the next paper that you're going to be cutting is the pattern cardstock. So she chose this really pretty holly leaves and berries, and it's so cute. But this one's double-sided. So the first cut that you're going to make for this one is 3 3/8 by 3 5/8. So first she cut off the 3 3/8, and then she's going to turn it and cut it to 3 5/8. So the final cut on that will be 3 3/8 by 3 5/8. So the next piece is going to be bigger. You're going to keep with your 3 3/8 piece that you cut here, but you're going to cut this one down to 3 3/8 by 6 7/8. So for this next part, you're going to need a scoreboard. The first thing that you're going to do is put in your 8 1/4 by 11 1/2 inch piece that you cut. This is going to be the base of your backpack, and you're going to put that on the 11 1/2 inch side. The first score mark you're going to make is 3 1/2, and I'll go ahead and zoom in for these so you can really see those score lines. Okay, so I zoomed in. That first one was 3 1/2. Then score at 5 1/2, and make sure you get a really good score. So that's at 5 1/2. The next score line is 9 inches. So go all the way down to the 9 inches and score. And then the last score line on this end is going to be at 11 inches. So that's what she's doing here, scoring at 11 inches. So again, on the 11 1/2 inch side, she scored at 3 1/2, 5 1/2, 9, and 11. So the next thing you're going to do is, you see here, she is taking her cardstock and turning it 1/4 of the way so that 11-inch score line is at the bottom. The last score line we made is at the bottom. So once you have it turned, the first score line you're going to make is at 1 1/4, and you're going to score this all the way down to the bottom of your paper. So this next part is a little bit tricky, but it's not hard at all, I promise. You're going to go to the 5-inch mark, and you're not going to score until you reach the line right there that she's pointing at. So she just kind of used her scoring tool as a guide, brought it down, and then started scoring once she hit that line all the way to the bottom of the paper. So I'll show you again here in slow motion. She takes her bone folder and does not score until she reaches this line, and then she presses down and scores all the way to the bottom of the paper from that line down. Okay, so I hope it's been easy enough to follow so far. Next, you're going to take the paper and turn it back the way that you had it at first on that 11.5-inch side. And you're going to go to 4.5, and this time you're going to score approximately 1 inch shy of that bottom score line. You don't have to measure this. Bree just eyeballed it, but it's approximately 1 inch shy of that bottom score line. So let me zoom in and do it again in slow motion. Okay, so next you're going to do the same thing at the 10-inch mark. So you're going to score this at 10 inches, just shy of that last score line by about 1 inch. And don't worry about it. You can eyeball it. It's no big deal. But it's approximately 1 inch from that last score line. Okay, so now you're going to be all done with your scoring. So you don't need your scoreboard anymore. So I'm going to try to explain this as easy as I can. You're going to take a ruler, as Bree is here, and a pencil. Find the bottom of those two last score lines that we just made, the ones that were approximately an inch shy of that last score line. You're going to line the ruler up as she did there and make a dot at each score line, so that way they're even, completely even. And then what you're going to do is take your ruler at that little pencil dot, and you're going to score, using your bone folder, you're going to score a line down to that bottom score line on the paper. So again, here she is taking it from her pencil dot and scoring down to that bottom score line, not all the way down to the bottom of the paper, but just to that score line. And that's going to make a crease there because you're eventually going to fold that. So then just do the exact same thing on the other side. Take the ruler at your pencil mark and do a diagonal line down with your bone folder to meet that bottom score line. Okay, so now we're going to do some cutting. The first piece that you're going to cut away is this little teeny rectangle in the corner. You do not need that, so go ahead and cut it right off. Next, move to the score line to your left, and you're going to cut up, and then on the inside, you're going to cut it at an angle. And then just remove that little piece that you cut out. Then move over to the inside of the first cut you made and cut that at an angle. Okay, so next keep moving to the left. When you meet the two bottom corners of that triangle that you made, go ahead and cut straight up until you meet those two corners, and from the inside, cut at an angle. Okay, so once you've done those cuts, turn it this way so the cuts are now on the left. and you are going to remove this entire panel. So take your scissors and cut this entire panel off. Make sure to save this, and actually you can cut these right now. There's two 1-inch little strips there. So what you're going to do is you're just going to cut those off because you're going to use these later on, and we'll talk about the measurements and everything later. But just go ahead and cut those away because you're going to need them later on in the video. But it's a good time to use the scrap that you just cut off for those pieces. And like I said, I'll give you the measurement of those later on in the video. Okay, so now officially this weird looking thing here is your template for your backpack. And Bree wanted me to let you know that once you make one of these, you really can start to mass produce these and just make a bunch of the templates, or, a bunch of the bases, do all of your scoring, all of your cutting, all of that all at once, and then kind of do it like an assembly line. But you just do want to make sure that you create one all the way through, just to make sure that you're doing it right and you got a hang of it, and then you can totally mass produce these. Okay, so now that we have our template, the next thing you're going to do is round certain corners. So take your corner rounder, any one you have will work, and you're going to round these two corners here, and just the way Bree did it. And then also she pulls out these matte pieces that we cut down, and she's going to go ahead and round those as well, because that's where they're going to fit right onto that panel that we just rounded. She's not going to glue these down quite yet, but she just gets everything ready, and that's how it's going to look. It's going to look so pretty and Christmassy. And then she does not round the corners of the smaller piece. So there is a certain way that this has to be folded. So have your bone folder handy, and I'm going to slow this down so you can follow along with the way that Bree folds this. So we're going to start with these panels here that are essentially going to be the side of the backpack. So you're just going to fold the first one in, and then kind of like an accordion, you're going to fold it back so that middle score line is pointing inside the backpack. And then the other one, you could fold it back, but she's going to go ahead and kind of just work it here with her fingers to fold it out. So it kind of goes like a little peak and valley situation. And then she's going to do the same thing for the other side. And there's a little tiny flap right, you're going to see it in just a second, that actually is where the tape is, or the adhesive is going to go, and that folds right back in like that. So she's going to do both sides like this, and like I said, I'm slowing it down here so you can watch it as many times as you need to, but she actually said it's super easy. But anyways, go ahead and fold on all the rest of your score lines and get those all creased down, and this thing is really coming together now. So this is a good time where you can adhere your magnet. Where Bree's pointing there is going to be the outside of the backpack on the front. And we have discovered in, trial and error that it's okay to cover up the magnet on the front with scrapbook paper, but for it to be a nice strong close, we're gonna keep the other one exposed, but that's gonna be later on in the video. So we're using some basic gray magnets, and I will try to find some of these online. They're really good for scrapbooking and using them for scrapbooking projects like this, and I'll link them below if I can find them. But you're just going to peel that off and pretty much just stick it down, eyeball the center. She's showing you the package here. But you're going to eyeball the center and just stick it down with some extra ATG, and that'll hold it really good because you're going to mat a piece of paper over it as well. So I'll just let you kind of watch how she does this. You need a plus and a minus if you have these same magnets as us, and we're using the larger ones. We found that they hold better. So she's just peeling off that minus. This is the minus one, and then the other one's going to, of course, magnetize to that. But she's just going to eyeball the center, and like I said, add some ATG, and that's good enough for this one because we're going to mat the paper over it. Okay, so now you can just go ahead and mat your big piece. So now we need to add some ATG to this little flap right here, the small one. So just go ahead and add your ATG, or you can use Scor Tape there. It's up to you. And you're just gonna fold this in, and you're gonna see right here where Brie adheres it. So fold that in and then bring it all the way to the back of your base, line it up with the edge and press it down. And this is gonna make your little backpack come together and be closed. So then just take your bone folder and you're going to want to crease down those folds and just burnish that glue down really well so you can kind of see the shape forming here. And so you're going to take this, and the next thing you're going to do is this flap up here is the closure. So however you want to try and form this into a rounded closure. So you just kind of curl it with your bone folder, work it with your hands, but really this kind of just folds over, and it's actually going to have a magnet on the other end of it. So that way it'll close, and it's kind of like your flap of your backpack. So this is the front of your backpack, but what you're going to do is turn it over, and now Brie has it flat laying on the surface with the back up. You need to do this part before you glue the rest of it together because this part has to lay flat. So you're going to take your two pieces that you cut down to 1 by 6. These are the little straps of your backpack, and just take your bone folder and give it one good curve. Don't curl it really tight, just give it a good curve on each one. So Brie has really experimented with this part, and she found that she is most successful, and what works best for this part is hot glue. She tried to use her ATG gun the first time, but the straps were coming up. So hot glue has been working really well, and so that's what she's going to use here and to show you in the tutorial. So basically what you're going to do, and she's using, I believe, her ruler here, or you can use your craft mat, but you're just going to measure 1/2 inch in from the edge, like the end of that 1 by 6 inch strip. You're going to measure 1/2 inch in and add your glue. So again, we are using hot glue, and we find that it works a lot better than your tape runners. And we haven't tried like super glue or anything like that, but the hot glue really worked well. And we're using like a high temp glue gun, so that way it stays super hot and sticky. So now she is just going to attach it to the back of the backpack, and I'm going to zoom in here in just a second so you can see kind of how far down she puts it, and then how she's going to glue the other side. It's really, really easy. So right here, I'll go ahead and zoom in so you can kind of see how far down she kind of eyeballed that. And then you're going to turn this around to get glue on the other side. So just like she did, turn it all the way around. So now the front of the backpack is facing up. Do your 1/2 inch from that edge once more and glue it down. Then you're going to repeat this step for the other strap as well. Okay, so we have our backpack straps on. Aren't those so cute? This is turning out so adorable. And now we just need to glue all the pieces together to make it look like a backpack. So this next part, you're gonna need Scor Tape and hot glue. So I mean, it's like optional, so you don't really need a Scor Tape. You can use your ATG gun, but Bree used a combination of hot glue and Scor Tape. So I'm just gonna kind of slow this down so you can see exactly what she does. So now the construction of our little backpack is glued together. So one of the last things we're going to do here is make our cute little buckle closure. So we've got two pieces that measure 1 by 2, and she's just going to glue these together to make them more sturdy. You can use like thicker cardstock for this. You can use design pattern cardstock, whatever you want. She's just kind of eyeballing it and cutting it 2 inches here, but she's just going to glue 2 of these, back to back to make them more sturdy, to make a cute little buckle. And this is where we're going to adhere the other magnet to make the closure. So she opted to round the corners on this, and it makes it look a little bit more like a buckle. It's really cute, kind of like the buckle of your, flap for your backpack. So that's what this is, little pieces for. And again, you can use thicker cardstock for this. It's just up to you. And when we do the magnet on this, it's going to be exposed, and we don't really mind that look, and it actually makes it for a more sturdy and better closure. So she's just going to ATG this thing and make these back to back, and then she's going to adhere the buckle. Okay, so as soon as you get those adhered together, just burnish them down really good with your bone folder. And we do recommend, again, for this part, using hot glue to attach it to your backpack. So this is where it's going to go, so just kind of eyeball it. And again, you're going to go 1/2 inch in from the edge with some hot glue and glue this down to your backpack flap. So once you get this down, you don't have to measure, you can eyeball it and just kind of press it down, let it dry. And this is actually where we're going to, like I said before, adhere the magnet. So the easiest way to adhere the magnet is just let it fall naturally where it magnetizes to the other one that we hid under the paper. And that way you know where to put the glue. So we're not just trusting the adhesive that's on here. Since we're going to have it exposed, we're going to add some more glue to this, hot glue again, and it just works the best for this. So again, add the hot glue and stick it onto the buckle. Let it dry for just a second, and it'll be the perfect closure for your cute little backpack. So now it's time to embellish the little backpack. And so what we did is we used some dimensional stickers and some green gems. So we decided that we wanted these cute little backpacks to be like real backpacks. And what would you find in a backpack but some cute notebooks? So we made mini notebooks for the inside of the little backpack. So what you're going to need for this is some cardstock and some inner pages. So for that, Bree used line paper and regular copy paper. So for the line paper, we use these 6x9 lined like notepads from the Dollar Tree. And if you take the page and cut a 1/4 inch off the edge, you can actually fit 3 pages on one page. So 3 of the little inner pages. So what you will need to cut down for these little notepads are 2 pieces of pattern cardstock that measure 3x6, 2 pieces that measure 3x5 3/4. Then you'll need 5 to 7 pieces of regular printer paper that measure 3x5 3/4, and then 5 to 7 pieces of the line paper that also measure 3x5 3/4. We also opted to round all of the corners just to give it a more finished look. And then the 2 skinny pieces down there measure 1x7, and those are going to be belly bands. So for each notebook, you're going to need one of your pattern cardstocks that measure 3x6, and that's going to be the cover. Then you need to choose the other pattern cardstock that measures 3x5 3/4, and that's going to be an inside piece. Okay, so let's put one of these together. It could not be easier. So you're just going to take your inside pieces, and that includes your 7 pages. In this instance, we're using the lined paper. So you're going to take those along with your 5 3/4 by 3 pattern cardstock. You're going to put that at the back, and you're going to just go ahead and stack these all together. They're all the same exact measurement, and fold them in half. Very simple. Then you're going to do the same to your cover piece. You can use your bone folder to crease it down really well. And that's the inner part of your cute little notebook. So then, like I said, you're just going to take your cover, choose which side you want to be on the outside if you're using double-sided paper, and crease that down. And it's just a bit bigger than the inside pieces. The height is the same, 3 inches, and then because you're folding so many pages, that's why we did it at 5 3/4. So now you're just going to stick that inside. Make sure that the center creases line up. And like I mentioned, the height of the book is 3 inches all the way around the inside and the outside. So just make sure it's all lined up. Hold it in your hand and get it secure. And then grab your stapler. And these are small enough to use a standard size stapler. Make sure you staple on the outside so the smooth side of the staple is on the outside. And then like the pointy kind of claw part is on the inside. And that is all that's to it. It's so cute. Now we have a little book, and it's bound with the staples. And we just, you just need to shut it closed and get it nice and creased down. And you have a cute little notebook with line pages and a pattern page in the middle. And it's super cute and festive. So now we're just going to make a quick belly band to keep it closed. And it's very self-explanatory. You've seen me do this on my channel before. So Bree just takes the belly band and just kind of forms it around the book just to give it those natural score lines. She uses her bone folder to get the creases nice and tight. And then just simply use your ATG gun to tape that closed. And you've got yourself a cute little belly band. So how cute are these little mini notebooks? And then we had some of these gel pens in our stash. I think I picked these up at Michael's. Bree had some as well. So we just matched up the colors the best we could. And she just clipped it to the top of the notepad. So she made 2 of these the exact same way. Just one has lined paper and one has the regular plain white printer paper. So these could not be easier to make, and these are just a great item that you can stuff inside the backpack. And we had some other ideas for this. So obviously you're going to be giving this as a holiday gift because it's holiday themed. You can make it any theme you want. You can like do like camper paper or, you know, Halloween little backpacks or fall. Stick, of course, these little notepads in there. Maybe some like Hershey Kisses or peppermints for the holidays. That would be really cute. Even some like bubble gum. Anything that you would find like in a real backpack. That's kind of the play we had on it. And we also discovered that these are the perfect gift card holders. So if you wanted to make a bunch of these for gifts or for your craft fair, you could, you know, sell them as gift card holders, or you can give them as gifts with some goodies in there. Like I said, candy, and then stick any gift card in there. So this is our super cute mini holiday backpack. So we're going to show you some of the other ones that Bree made and the cute little notebooks that she made to go inside as well. So for the pricing on these, Bree has decided to price them at $5 each. And we are just going to leave them like this, lined up in a cute little basket for the craft fair. We're not going to put them in a clear bag or anything like that. Of course, if somebody purchases one, we'll wrap some tissue around it and put it in a really nice gift bag for them to take away from our craft table. So that is the price. We're going to do $5 each on these. And she is going to be adding, as soon as the Christmas candy comes out in the stores, she's going to be adding like some Hershey Kisses and some peppermints in some of them. So she'll be adding some Christmas candy along with the 2 cute little notebooks and mini pen. Bree and I both thank you so much for watching this tutorial and hanging in there with us. We hope you enjoyed this project. Big thank you to Bree for being a guest crafter on my channel. And remember to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more craft fair videos. Everything that Bree used in this video that I could possibly find online for you, I will link it below, including all the paper pads, everything. If I can find it online, I'll link it below for you. So I hope that you all are having a wonderful weekend. And we, again, thank you so much for watching. Keep watching to the end for some more footage of these adorable mini holiday backpacks. Thanks again, everybody. Bye.